I got you, bro. Got you right where I want you.
Where we at, bro? You said last time you said you was gonna break down
Nah,
the whole book of Revelation, yeah? Hmm? You said it was gonna be an exclusive video where you go in a deep hold on. I gotta do the hand when you go into a deep, in-depth breakdown of the whole book of Revelation. Hold on, let me finish. The in-depth, deep breakdown of the whole book of Revelations, chapter 1 through how many chapters? 21, 22. You go through the whole shebang.
I
You
tell
said
you what.
it's gonna be like a 6 hour thing, bro. You
I tell
doing
you
that
what.
today?
That'll be the last breakdown y'all ever see Mahar do.
The nigga be dead.
That'll be the very last breakdown I ever do.
He said, I tell you what, that brother be gone out of there.
That'll be the last one. Shalom. We got Shawad, honorary. What is it? Honorary member.
Yeah.
Khan. Shalom King. We got melodic tunes. Shalom King. See how this Hebrew this brother then typed out?
He
gotta
just
deal
out
with
of me, bro.
You got to deal with that. Kyle. So we trying to figure out what we're gonna go into.
What was the last chapter we went over in Second Ezra?
It's like 4.
Bro, it was in between 4 or 2.
Let's see.
Yeah, it was 4. It was 4. It was 4.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see where we ended.
We got Bro Wendell, Tribe of Judah. Shalom King, first time seeing you. Good to have you. You probably been around but never jumped in live and commented on our through the spirit. So that's what I mean when I say first time seeing you. Yeah, man, I read Second Ezra 13 and 14. Some good chapters right there. Some good chapters. It's whatever though, bro. We said we was gonna dive into that Maccabees too, though. We said we are just gonna have to say that if we do. We got the young Akwaf, unique Shalom sis.
Yeah. I got that pulled up too. The Second Ezra. Not Second Ezra, I'm sorry. The Maccabees. Let me this mug long too. Ooh wee. All right, let me see. Let me share the screen.
We got the mighty officer. Dahawan Mayam in the chat. Shalom King.
This is a mighty 70 verses.
And what chapter are you in? Chapter 2. You want it
First Mac
bro?
chapter 2.
Bro, we might as well do chapter 1 if we're gonna do that.
Bro, you might as well just come through on your promise with the Revelation breakdown then, brother. This is what I'm talking about.
I ain't never said that.
Stop running from your duties, bro.
No, if anybody gonna jump into Revelations and give y'all the breakdowns, Captain DeBar, DM them. Tell them y'all still waiting on them Revelation breakdowns. Tell them we sent y'all.
That's funny.
All All right, you feeling chapter 2? I'm kind of feeling chapter 2 now that I meditate on it more. There's some powerful points in there.
No matter to me, both of them pretty cool.
Flip a coin, cast a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Boy, let me see. I got a quarter. Hold on. Which one heads? Which one tails?
Heads. Let's go. First chapter.
All right, I'm letting it hit the flow. Heads, first chapter.
I was kind of excited for tails. All right.
Bro, I heard heads. I heard it's better chances to land on heads than it is tails. How is that possible?
Is it the weight?
I don't know. Every time I flip a coin, damn near it always be landing on heads a lot. You know what I'm saying?
No, bro. I was gonna say the only way it could be like that is if the aerodynamic or something. You know, like a throwing knife. The reason why.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is the weight and the aerodynamic of the coin or something like. It's 50-50. I can't read that.
It says, for example, even the 50-50 coin toss really isn't 50-50. It's closer to 51-49, biased toward whatever side was up when the coin was thrown in the air. You see that? That makes sense. That makes sense. Because I always flip that mug starting with the heads up. And I always be, you know.
That 1%.
That, you know. Come on now, you got to deal with that. That 51.
I got to deal with that. I'm cut. All right.
Got to deal with that. All right.
I got to go meditate on that. The screen looks funky, bro. Oh, you doing that on purpose so you can see the live still, huh?
Yes. I'm sorry. I can move it over a little bit though.
Schwab said that mighty 1%.
A little better.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. This look better though?
Yes, it does actually. Let me get there. First Maccabees is raw, bro. Sheesh. All right, yeah, I'm ready.
I don't know what that was. Khan, first and foremost, we want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah, right? Shalom, Captain Jeremiah. Let's get into it. All right, this is a very well-known chapter, at least here at Sons of Jacob. It should be very well-known around Israel, right? But if you don't know it, we finna go through it right now, right? And then Lord willing, next week we can go on to chapter 2, so on and so forth, right? First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1, right? It says, and it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece, and made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth, and went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up. So, bro, how we finna go about this, bro? Are we finna tap into Daniel? Are we just finna read the chat? What are we doing? What are we doing?
The spirit, however you see fit.
Don't do that. Nah, bro. What are we doing, brother? Don't just throw it on me like that. What are we doing?
What the spirit doing, brother? Don't ask me that. I got you. I'll show you what we're doing. I put a precept on it too. Since you want to be weird. Nah.
He's,
go,
he
to,
said
go,
it's gonna be weird.
go to Second Thessalonians chapter 3,
All
verse
right,
1, brother.
man.
And you deal with that. All
You
right.
said what?
Second Thessalonians
You said what,
3,
brother?
3, verse 1, and you deal with that.
Nah, bro. You now you know how I'm gonna rebuttal that? I'm gonna get weird. Show me that in the law.
The law,
That's
brother.
when brothers get weird.
Yeah, I met
Shoot.
a few people like that.
Yeah, they out there. What chapter is saying, bro?
8. Wait, what you looking for? How the Babylonian, what you looking for? Hmm? No, hold on.
Bro, is it
Hmm?
hmm?
Go ahead.
Is it me or is it you, bro? Like your end sound a little blocky on my end. It could be just me though.
You sound good on my end.
You sound good, but it's like every now and then it'll chop up a little bit.
Yeah, it did do that on. I can hear the same thing from yours.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I guess we're gonna get into it, you know. First Maccabees chapter 1 is dealing with prophecy being fulfilled, right? It's dealing with a lot of stuff being fulfilled, and we're gonna read that. I'm gonna jump around in Daniel chapter 8, right? Daniel 8 and 15. Is that what I want? It's not what I want. Hold on. Boom. Daniel 8 and 20. The ram which thou sawest having two horns are the kings of Media and Persia. And the rough he goat, or Salaki, the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. The first king to reign over Greece was Alexander, the son of Philip, or known as Alexander the Great. In First Maccabees chapter 1 and 2, it says, and he made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth, right? He even slew or had smitten Darius, king of the Persian Medes. We read about that all the way back in Daniel, right? Where it goes over the he goat and him coming and destroying, basically. Let's read it. Daniel 8 and 3. Then I lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had two horns. The ram represents Media and Persia, right? The two horns is Media and Persia, the two powers in the earth during that time. And the two horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. The higher horn, I believe, represents Persia. Am I right? Because media wasn't as strong as Persia. Am I right? Am I getting that right?
I believe so.
Because I always get them mixed up a little bit. But the Persians had more dominion in that kingdom than the Midianites, right? That's why one of the horns were higher than the other. Verse 4, I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward so that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand. And he did according to his will, and he became great. And as I was considering, behold, an he goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. That notable horn is talking about Alexander the Great. He was a power, right? He's going over Daniel seeing this vision, how the ram was so powerful, and he was going and he was conquering lands. Let's actually see. Let's actually look how big it was. How big was the Achaemenid Empire? 5.5 million square kilometers. It says based in Western Asia, it was the largest empire the world had ever seen at its time, spanning a total of 5.5 million square kilometers or 2.1 million square miles from the Balkans and Egypt in the west to Central Asia and the Indus valleys in the east, Slovakia. So basically, the Achaemenid Empire, the Persian and Mede Empire, biggest empire that the world has ever seen during this time. This is what Daniel is saying. There was nothing that could stop this. Empire. 2.1 million miles. That's a lot of land. That's a lot of land to be ruled by a man, right? But let's not forget, Daniel said he's seen a rough he-goat, which is Alexander the Great. He's seen a rough he-goat that touched not the ground, meaning he was moving fast. He was moving really fast. Let's ask a question. How fast did Alexander the Great conquer? A great conqueror, in 13 short years, he amassed the largest empire in the entire ancient world. In 13 short years. You got to imagine this, all right? You got to imagine this. War lasts around 5 years sometimes. War can last a very long time. This man went and conquered damn near the world in 13 years. That's a short amount of time to do that. That's what it means when it says he touched not the ground. He's moving that damn fast. Daniel is seeing all this in a vision, right? It says an empire that covered 3,000 miles, and he did this without the benefit of modern technology and weaponry. They got to put that on there. They got to reestablish that in your head. This nigga did this without modern without guns, without nukes, without a damn AR-15. He did this with shield and sword. That's what he did. It says in his day, troop movements were primarily on foot and communications were face to face. Can you imagine that, conquering a whole entire mass of land in 13 short years without using any kind of modern, like, you don't got guns. Look,
You gotta be a war
these men
general.
on feet.
You gotta be a war general, bro. You gotta be a general. You gotta be a general, bro. Damn, they're gotta have luck on your side, fate on your side to do. But we know.
Yeah,
But shoot, it can take a whole year just to besiege and starve one city out. Because they could have enough food, corn, water in their storehouses in the cities and ponds and pools, I should say. It can take a year to besiege one city. He besieged the whole world.
he besieged the whole.
Yeah, I mean that was the world at that time, bro.
Yeah,
And damn near.
the known world.
I mean,
if you were anybody,
all of Mesopotamia, all the way through Israel, all the way through Egypt. I mean, that's everything, bro.
Babylon, look, Jerusalem right here. Persia, come on, bro. You snatching up the known world, my man. You snatched Egypt, you snatched all that. Like you said, though, you damn near gotta have luck on your side. And in this context, luck is the Most High God, because Daniel already foreseen it. This was ordained to happen. This was ordained to happen. Right? Verse 6. And he came to the ram that had two horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram and brake his two horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. That's how nasty this was. People couldn't put up a fight against Alexander. That's why they got the name the Great right after. That's why it's like that. You don't conquer the known world in 13 short years. You don't just go take somebody's land. You don't go. You got to imagine this. There are other men out there fighting against you. Sometimes, you kind of win this little battle here, and then they kind of win this battle here, and then that takes time. That takes years. That takes men, food, power, all
money.
You name it. Money, wealth.
He was, bro, type in Alexander the Great real quick on Wikipedia. I want to get some, I want to see some quick information, see what they spit. Can you zoom in?
It's loading up. Hold on.
All right.
All right. It says, all right. It says Alexander III of Macedon, commonly known as Alexander the Great, was a king of ancient Greek kingdom of Macedon. He succeeded his father Philip II to the throne in 336 BC at the age of 20, and spent
at
most
the age
of his
20 years old on the throne, finna start calling shots. Salaki, I got excited with that.
You straight. It says, and spent most of his ruling years conducting a lengthy military campaign throughout Western Asia and Egypt. By the age of 30, he had created one of the largest empires in history. Stretching from Greece to northwestern India, he was undefeated in battle and is widely considered to be one of history's greatest and most successful military commanders. Nigga had God on his side during that time.
You gotta deal with that. This nigga coming from Macedon to you, a city near you.
Alexander the Free. He on the way.
Hey, rumor has it that he went to war naked. Hey, that's just rumor. I don't know. I heard he showed up naked.
Right.
I had a leopard skin fur skin on his shoulders in battle. Rumor. That's rumored to be,
That's rumor.
But yeah, when the prophecies say that this is gonna happen, this is what it looked like.
Yeah.
This is what it looked like. Bro, I'm telling you, I was reading 2nd Ezra 13 today. An overview of 2nd Ezra 13 is Hamashiach come, people try to make war against him. It don't work. He just a general. He's just a general. It says everybody came together to make war against the Son of Man, against Yahushua. And since we're talking about Alexander the Great, and we're looking at some of his achievements and some of the acts that he did, in his short span of reigning for 13 years, what he accomplished is crazy. It said he was undefeated, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And it just got me thinking about if that's what's the word I want to use? If that's mighty to us in our eyes, like how much more, Yahushua? Like how much more?
Mm-hmm.
How much more, man? I
Um,
mean, he gonna subdue literally the whole world. Yeah.
share my screen again. I accidentally unshared it.
Okay.
It says in 1334 BC, he invaded the Achaemenid Empire and began a series of campaigns that lasted for 10 years. Following his conquest of Asia Minor, Alexander broke the power of the Achaemenid Persia in a series of decisive battles, including those at Issus and Gaugamela. It says he subsequently overthrew Darius III and conquered the Achaemenid Empire in its entirety. Right. Let's get back to the scripts. That's what we read right here. I mean, the history is kind of, just going over what we just read in these first beginning verses, right? It says, verse 8, therefore, Daniel 8 and 8, therefore the he goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, for it came up four notable ones toward the four winds of heaven. So Alexander all of a sudden came down with the illness. He died, and then it says four horns came up behind him. I want to look up how did he die. I heard he died from AIDS.
Yeah, I
That's
heard it
what I
was
heard
STD.
though.
Yeah.
From what it looked like, it don't really look like a lot of people know how he died, right? Possible explanations for death have included alcoholic liver disease and strychnine poisoning, but little data support either condition as the cause of death. Alexander most likely died from malaria or typhoid fever, which were rampant in ancient Babylon, right? Suddenly came down with something, he died. Let's go back to First Maccabees chapter 1. First Maccabees 1 and 3. And he went to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. So remember, we showed you how big of a land that he conquered. He basically went in and just conquered the vast majority of what the Persian Empire had already conquered, right? But in the scripture says he went and conquered the world, and the world was quiet before him. He didn't come over here to America. This is what happened. This is why you don't take the Bible so literally at every point. You got to understand, to these men during this time, this is the earth. This is the whole world. This is the known world. Ain't nobody else nowhere else.
This is where
You
everybody
got
at.
people over here. Exactly. A lot of other things is desert lands, forest, you name it. But
There is
where folks,
all of the, so like if I can,
go ahead.
all of the kingdoms, the mighty kingdoms of the earth are in this place, are in this region, are in this area. There is no other mighty ruling kingdom anywhere else. This is the place to be. This is where everybody at. These are the mighty kingdoms right here.
Mm-hmm. Where's that? All in this area, right? All in this area. You got Macedonia, Sicilia, Egypt, Pontus, Media, Babylon, Alexandria. I've seen Israel somewhere, but Think not no more. Oh well, we probably somewhere around here then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we somewhere around here.
Right above your cursor.
Mm-hmm. Get back to it. Verse 4. He gathered up a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. And after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die, whereupon he called wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule every one in his place. Alexander was only in rulership for 12 years, conquered the whole damn world. Just let that sink in. It says, and his servants bare rule every one in his place, and after his death they all put crowns upon themselves, so that their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. Let's go back to Daniel, because Daniel spoke about this. Verse 8. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn, Alexander, was broken. He died. And for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great, towards the south, towards the east, and towards the pleasant land. The pleasant land is Israel or Jerusalem, our homeland, right? So you got Daniel having this vision about 4 horns coming up right after him. The Diadochi or the Diadochi, right? It says, let me see. The Diadochi means successors. That's what it literally means. The successors. Who are they successors to? Alexander. It says were the rival generals, families, and friends of Alexander the Great, who fought for control over his empire after his death in 323 BC. The wars of the Diadochi marked the beginning of the Hellenistic period from the Mediterranean Sea to the Indus River Valley. Who's a part of this Diadochi? You got Ptolemy, Cassander, Lysimachus, and Seleucus, right? But in Daniel, it says out of one of these men, out of one of these rulerships, out of one of these empires, a little horn is going to come. It says, and he waxed exceeding great towards the south, towards the east, and towards the pleasant land.
Salakia.
Go ahead.
So you'll see in prophecies and in just scriptures, you'll see the word horn. And I just wanted to dive into that real quick. Can you give me Luke chapter 1, verse 68? The word horn a lot of times can symbolize a person. A lot of times the main thing that is symbolizing is power. Just like with a rhino. When you picture a rhino is a strong beast, but its power lies within its horn, right? Same thing with a damn, what would you call it? A damn deer that got antlers. You know, they use their damn antlers, they use their horns, they use these things that's what that power, that's what it represents. It represents power, to say the least. And I'll give y'all a classic scripture to help teach that. So when it says a little horn is going to rise up out of these 4, understand that it's going into a power, it's going into a person, it's going into, you got to understand that. Let me grab this though. Luke chapter 1, verse 68. It says, blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people. Everybody on the chat, if you're not brand spanking new, you know Luke, you know chapter 1, and you know verse 68 on down. It says, blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people. How did he redeem his people, the Israelites? By sending Yahushua. It says, and have raised up a horn of salvation. So he raised up a horn of salvation. That's powerful. It says, have raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. Right. And as you keep going on, we know that salvation in this context is going into us being saved from our enemies. But I just want to jump. So we want it to be to where we connect certain dots. So when you read in different scriptures or you diving into Daniel and you see this kind of wordplay or coded text, that you can kind of get a gist when you read it by yourself. Right. So I want to give a quick overview because we're going into prophecy. Daniel chapter 8, whenever you're reading it, it was a prophecy about what was going to happen in the time of Maccabees. It was just prophecy. No, this wasn't there yet. So now what we're doing, we're reading through Maccabees, but now we're going back into the time of Daniel and showing you how it's prophetic and how it came to pass. Lord willing, everybody can make sense of that. Right? But it's back on you, King.
Time. So we just read how a little horn was going to come out of the earth, or come out of one of those four generals, and wax towards the pleasant land. First Maccabees 1 and 10. It says, and there came out of one of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. So you got Antiochus, right, who came out of one of them. I believe he came out of the Seleucid Empire, right? He's that wicked root. He's that horn that came up. Verse 11, in those days went there out of Israel many wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are in Israel. Right? That are saying, let's go make a covenant with the Greeks. We've always liked the custom of the Greeks. We read about this or we talked about it a couple weeks ago about what's bro's name. He put Esau in captivity and forced him to learn Judaism, so-called Judaism.
Hyrcanus.
John Hyrcanus, yes. We learned about John Hyrcanus, and we found out that John Hyrcanus also, he liked the fashion of the Greeks as well. So did a lot of other people, right? It was cool with us. It was cool with a lot of us, I'll say that. Verse 12, it says, so this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen. Let's look this up. Let's look this up. Gymnasium, right? Gymnasium. Late 16th century. I advise everybody, whenever you're looking up words, look up what the root word is. Look up what they meant back then in its original context, right? In late 16th century, via Latin from Greek, gymnasium or whatever, or from gymnasium, exercise naked. From gymnos, naked. That's what was going on. We already know about the Greeks. Go ahead.
Don't remember what you were saying. I just wanted to make this quick point. It's good to go into the etymology of the word and what words used to mean. Why is that important? Because words over time has changed. Over time, words change. For example, gay, it used to mean happy, but now it has a totally different meaning when it's used. So we have to actually be a little bit more studious. And when we see certain words, We got to dive into them a little bit deeper to make it make sense in this context of the scriptures, right? But I yield with that.
That's actually, I'm not even getting to it, but exercise naked, right? This is what our people built. We pretty much done with Daniel chapter 8. I'm not gonna get into the whole spill or the whole breakdown. Yeah.
Hey, you did wonderful because there's so much meat on there, and I was afraid that we weren't even gonna be able to talk about Maccabees, bro.
Nah, I'm not even gonna get. I just wanted to get the first. You know what I'm saying?
You did good.
Appreciate it. But this is what our people built in Israel. A place to exercise naked according to the customs of the heathen, predominantly the Grecians. Right? It says, and made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief. But I want to look it up, bro. What is it called? Fraternity?
Greek fraternities?
I think that's what I want.
Frat.
Yes. It's different for the girls, ain't it?
Seniority.
Girls is called something else, I believe.
I don't know.
Look at this. Let's check this out.
We're sold to do mischief.
Something like that. Look at this is what Jake into. Mind you, most of these is Jake. Damn near all of these is Jake. They got the Greek words on their heads. They got the Greek symbols branded on them. That's what they like. So they can feel a sense of brotherhood. Look, this nigga, he proud to be in this. You know, they simplify, they'll do the damn thing. They'll get to talk. My wife said it right there, sorority, Thwada. They'll get the throwing the whatever the hell is going into, and they get the stomping it out and get the look, niggas is dead serious about this. Brothers for life. Mind you, you gotta go, you damn near, not even damn near, you gotta sell your soul to get into it. Because you gotta give up all your morals. You gotta go through some nonsense, I believe it's called a Hell Week or something like that. Where you they go as far as the damn near, it's nasty. I'm not gonna lie, it's nasty. You know, some brothers may have you drink piss. Somebody bring me lunch right now. Put this dress on and walk through the cafeteria. You got to go through a bunch of embarrassing things and lose your moral code, your moral compass, all of that just to join this and get branded.
Precept.
Go ahead.
This is Sirach chapter 10 and verse 9. Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such an one setteth his own soul to sale, because while he liveth, he cast away his bowels. It says a man will sell his own soul. How do you do that? It explains it. You cast away your bowels. You cast away the things that you stand on, the things that you were taught, the righteousness, morals, character. You gotta literally throw all of that out the window and do wickedness. Cast away your bowels. So your bowels is your stomach, but according to the scriptures, your mind and your stomach have similar characteristics, right? I want to make this crystal clear, so I'm gonna grab another preset. Let me look it up real quick. It's in Job. Bear with me. I'm gonna get it quick. Right. So this is Job 34 and 3. It says, "For the ear crieth words." So your ear, it tries words. Someone's speaking something to you. If it makes a lot of sense, it goes into your ears. then it goes into your mind digests it, and you'll say, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. Just how your stomach, you'll chew food, you'll taste it, and you'll try the food. If it's good to your taste buds, it'll go down your esophagus, it'll go down to your stomach, and you'll say, that tastes good. So he will cast away his bowels is going into your mind. You will cast away everything that's morally right, that's encompassed with righteousness. You'll cast all of that out of your bowels, out of your mind, out of your stomach. You'll give all of that up. You'll give all of that up. That is how one can sell his soul, right? According to the scriptures. Go ahead, okay.
Kind. First, because it's called hazing, right? It says the initiation rites. This is initiation, right? Can rank, and mind you, all of this shit is a ritual. All of these things are ritualistic, right? They've been doing this for thousands of years. It said the initiation rites can range from relatively benign pranks to protracted patterns of behavior that rise to the level of abuse or criminal misconduct. Hazing is often prohibited by law or institutions such as colleges and universities because it may include either physical or psychological abuse, such as humiliation, nudity. Then they had two naked white folk right there. That was wild. Nudity or sexual abuse, right? Let's get the word haze. I went to etymology because this is where the word hazing comes from. It says subject someone to cruel horseplay. 1850 American English student slang from earlier nautical sense of harass with work, punished by keeping at unpleasant and unnecessary hard labor. Perhaps from Hawes, terrify, frighten, confound, from French hazer, irritate, annoy, which is of unknown origin. So they basically got to put you through all kinds of nonsense, just pure nonsense. Go run out on the field naked. Do it or you ain't gonna join. They can call you out your name. They say, bring me breakfast at this o'clock. You bring them breakfast, throw it on the ground. That's not how I wanted it. Go do it again.
Hey, essentially.
And you know what they searching for? This is what they looking for.
Go ahead.
So like I was just saying, this is what they're looking for. That brand. They want that Greek symbol on them at the end of the day.
Look at this.
They want that Greek symbol. Go ahead.
They really fall for this. A lot of people, because I've seen a lot of testimonies and interviews over people who was in frats. A lot of people fall for it. One, because you can the status in college. For two, a lot of people fall for it. Status as in it looks good. I'm a part of this. I'm a part of something. And the second thing that I've seen or noticed is that a lot of people want brotherhood. Brotherhood is super, super sweet. One of the sweetest gifts that the Most High God ever blessed me with. Very, very sweet. But people would desire that and go looking for it, and they'll end up running into a frat. They'll look for something in the wrong places. Just how a woman will look for love in the wrong places. She's looking for a soulmate and a husband and somebody to take care of her, but she end up running into a knucklehead drug dealer. Right? You're looking for this brotherhood in the wrong places. The Most High God gave us a heritage. He gave us laws. He gave us statutes. He gave us commandments. And he gave us our own brothers, and how we deal with them is according to this law, according to the book of the covenant, according to the spirit of the Most High God. But we'll go looking for that brotherhood in a different place, and it gets us nowhere. I want to bring out the scripture. This is Sirach chapter 4 and verse 22. It says, "Accept no person against thy soul." Accept no person against thy soul. And your soul going into that morality and that compass and righteousness, don't accept nobody against that. Don't go against everything that is right just so you can be in a damn frat. Accept no person against thy soul, and let not the reverence of any man cause thee to fall. A lot of people, they will go against their own soul. They'll go against their own morality, their own against right, and they'll go against it. They'll go against the grain just so they can be underneath a damn frat. And that's not the way to get brotherhood, right? It's not the way to get brotherhood at all. They put you through unnecessary hazing that doesn't translate over to anything. You know what I'm saying? Idiotic stuff, homosexual stuff, humiliation. It can be useful, but how they use it is not acceptable. Right? The scripture deals with humiliation. Right? It says, them that sin rebuke before all. You can embarrass somebody in the truth to prevent other brothers from doing that. But how they do it is for own greedy lucre's sake. It's for their own sensation. It doesn't have nothing behind it. It's because of madness. But go ahead, Salakia.
You straight. Women go through this hazing process too, right? It's not just men, it's women also. But it says since 1838, there have been at least 149 deaths due to hazing in the Greek life community alone, according to Hank Newer, an author who writes about the compiles at a database of hazing deaths. Right? I looked up how common are hazing deaths. It says at present in the United States, 44 states have anti-hazing laws. Since 1970, there have been at least one hazing-related death on a college campus each year. That's weird right there. Each year, 2.82% of deaths from hazing involve alcohol. It says the first recorded incident of hazing involved sexual abuse occurred in 1983. And if you want me to keep it a buck, a lot of the times what's going on, because at these college places, a lot of this stuff is madness. They'll get somebody stupid drunk, or they'll get a woman stupid drunk, right? Next thing you know, you got multiple men that's trying to lay down with this woman, lay down with this girl. Things get out of hand, they end up raping her to death. That's what goes on. But it's also, you know, brothers can be a part of this, so they can be something, you know, have something to be proud of or whatever. And if somebody end up dying, then guess what? That makes them closer. We all got to share this secret now. We really got to be brothers. Blah blah. That's not how you build brotherhood. You don't build brotherhood in death. You don't build trust in damn nonsense and humiliation, and that's nonsense. But this is what our people wanted to do. This is still what our people want to do unto this day, right? And we're sold to do mischief, right? I want to look up mischief.
Bro, we keep seeing this.
I want to look it up, bro.
It says sold to do mischief.
Might be spelling it wrong. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
It says playful misbehavior or troublemaking, especially in children. Playfulness that is intended to tease, mock, or create trouble, harm, or trouble caused by someone or something. It says late Middle English denoted misfortune or distress, from Old French mischief, from verb mischievre, adversely chever, come to an end. I don't know how we got that from that, but y'all get it, right? It's playfulness that is intended to tease, mock, or create trouble, playful misbehavior or troublemaking, especially in children. We was acting like damn kids. That's what was going on.
Bro, do me a favor.
Go ahead.
Look up mischief in a blue letter. Baba Kashan. Because you see mischief a lot of times in the scriptures. Hey, that's a good precept. Isaiah 52:3, it says, "For thus saith the Lord, you have sold yourselves for naught.
My laptop been running slow lately, bro. I need to.
You shall be redeemed without money." Can you even hear me?
I can now.
Oh, okay.
What happened? I missed something.
Yeah, you missed everything. Son. Evil.
Evil, mischief, harm, hurt.
That's how it's used in the scriptures.
Harm,
They was
mischief from which anyone suffers.
yeah, they were sold to do mischief. Yeah, I mean, now in America, whenever you think of mischief, I do think of like someone young, like a child. But in the scriptures, when you see how it's used, it's not always referring to children. It would be referring to grown men just being evil. So I wanted to see that just for my own self.
Time. Verse 16. It says, "Now, when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have the dominion of 2 realms. Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with chariots, elephants, and horsemen, and a great navy, and made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt. But Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death. Thus they got the strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoil thereof." It says, "And after that Antiochus had smitten Egypt, he returned again in the 143rd year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude, and entered proudly into the sanctuary, and took away the golden altar, and the candlestick of light, and all the vessels thereof, and the table of showbread, and the pouring vessels, and the vials, and the censers of gold, and the veil, and the crown, and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he had pulled off." So Antiochus had entered into our holy sanctuary. He entered into the temple, right? He went into the temple, mind you. We just rebuilt our temple from Babylon, if I'm not mistaken, yeah? During this time. Because remember, Darius had given us permission to go back to Jerusalem to rebuild the temple and to rebuild the city. Right after Darius, here come the Greeks, and now Antiochus coming in and wrecking shop, coming in and taking stuff over, right? Pulling out the veils, pulling out the altar, pulling out the the menorah, all of that. It says he took also the silver and the gold and the precious vessels. Also, he took the hidden treasures which he found. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly. He made a great massacre of our people, right? Boasting in our people, boasting in the blood of our people, right? It says, "Therefore there was a great mourning in Israel, in every place where they were." Mind you, we had already told, the king that we wanted to be a part. We was trying to, we made a damn gymnasium. We wanted to be like them. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. That's how Esau get down. You welcome him, and then he kill you. I mean, that's kind of what it is. Verse 26. "So that the princes and elders mourned, the virgins and young men that were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed. Every bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chambers was in heaviness. The land was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. That's what he's doing. He spoke peaceable words. Look, we're gonna set you up nice. We're gonna do this, and you guys, we're not gonna really take over your land or nothing like that. We're gonna kind of do this.
Look,
Everything deceit.
hey, can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Look, we don't want to do this, let's just do it this way. I don't want to even be this guy. I just had to be sent. I just got sent here. We're gonna take good care of you guys. We're gonna give you a stimulus. We're gonna make sure you got your land. We're gonna allow you to do your laws and your festivals. We just, that's peaceable words.
Yep.
We're gonna let you do X, Y, and Z. All you got to do is X, Y, and Z, and it's gonna be smooth. There's not gonna be no problems. That's madness. That's a classic Edomite move.
Yeah, it is.
That's a classic. That's a classic move. That's a classic. Classic. Works like a charm.
Yeah, dude. I got a precept.
Smooth words. Go ahead.
Psalms 55:20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. But war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. This is describing Esau, man. He put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. We see this time and time again. Time and time and time again. He breaks his covenants. He's an oath breaker, not a promise keeper, none of that. He tries to make peaceable words, but war was in his heart at all times. That's how he get down. That's what he do. Go in history and show me that's not what he do. Please, somebody prove that to me. Show me that's not what Esau do. That's not what the white man do. Just show me in history where he was just, he was an upstanding man and he kept his oath and he was just that guy.
He was noble.
He was noble. Can't find it, man. You can't find it, right? Now they try to paint themselves out to be noble with damn Achilles, but Achilles ain't real. You know what I'm saying? They may paint themselves noble with damn Hercules. Hercules ain't real. They give you all these stories about great white men that aren't real. But when you go to history, it's like, damn, these niggas is monsters. These guys are, oh my God. What's going on? They do this to people? Yes. Yes, this is what they do. Go ask the natives. They go ask them. They met them with peace. They showed them how to till the land. They showed them how to cook the vegetation. They met them with, and they gave them smallpox. I know I was watching something. There are some tribes became extinct when they came into contact with the white man. They just wiped out. Just off the face of the earth because of him. You know what that is? That's a damn disease. It's like cancer. That's what he is, right? I'm going to keep reading, though. Sorry. First Maccabees 1:30. And spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people of Israel. As soon as we was like, I guess we can be cool again, bro. Bam! Stabbed him right in the back. It says suddenly, as soon as swift as the eagle flieth. That's how quick he came. Right? Verse 31. And when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side. I'm trying to figure out why. You know what I'm saying? Why the hell he doing all this? We just minding our business. It ain't, bro, Israel, check this out. It ain't like we just trying to go out there and conquer the fucking world. It's like it ain't like we're just trying to go out there and conquer the world, right? You know, Alexander was on that kind of time. The Persian Medes was on that kind of time. We just trying to chill in our land. You know what I'm saying? We ain't on expeditions and brothers. We took over the land of Canaan, and hey, we got our land. Y'all do y'all thing over there. We kind of just gonna chill. No, everybody always trying to just come mess with us, trying to mind our business. Just trying to mind our business. But you got weird Edomites, you got weird heathens around about. You know what I'm saying? You know, Esau, they can't mind their business to save their lives. They cannot mind their business. This is why they was at the damn bottom of the ocean dying. They cannot mind their business. What are you doing down there? They trying to get to the damn moon. For what? Why? Why are you up there? Because they can't mind their damn business.
What profit do you get from this?
Can't mind their business. Scripture say there's nothing more worse than a covetous man. That's what he is. He's a covetous man. He covets a man, even his heritage. That's what the scriptures say.
Literally.
It was one white man. He decided to hop on a boat and go to this indigenous island. Hopped on a boat. He was going over there with Christianity. Good old Christianity. You know, they shot an arrow into the water. That was a warning. Don't do it. Don't. Hey, but what Esau do? Well, no, they just got to hear the gospel. That's all. You know, I'm coming with this good old book. Jesus Christ. That man got on that island. They massacred that man. We don't want you over here, bro. Look, North Centennial Islands. God, we don't want you here, bro. They can't mind their business to save their lives. It don't matter how many of these people die at the bottom of the ocean. Guess what? They're going to keep going to the bottom of the ocean. They're just going to keep going. They just want to see what's down there. I was watching Deacon from Sakari. He did a good video over the submarine incident that happened. Deacon said it's a possibility Leviathan got at him. I'm down with that doctrine. I'm totally down with that. You know what I'm saying? We can't prove it, but I'm down. I'm down with that. It makes sense. Leviathan get at them. They ain't supposed to be down there. Cool. Because a lot of stuff didn't add up. Go ahead.
They doing way too much.
Doing way too much. They got too much dip on their chip, bro. You ever had too much dip on your chip and it just broke? The chip broke. I had too much dip on there. Had too much dip on there, dog. It wasn't a sturdy chip. All right. First Maccabees 1:32. It says, but the women and children took they captive and possessed the cattle. Then builded they the city of David with a great and strong wall and with mighty towers and made it a stronghold for them. They took the city of David and made it a stronghold for themselves. Right?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Just so everybody don't skim over it. I'm going to start reading from here too, because it's about halfway. Mm-hmm. It says, but the women and children took they captive and possessed the cattle. This is what happened when you got acts of war. Women get taken captive. Children get taken captive. Slavery start happening. All of your resources, your livestock, your source of living, they take that. Anything valuable, anything that has value, they take. Just so women this is why it's so important to obey the Most High God. Get a man that obeys the Most High God and follows the Most High God, because if not, you're gonna end up getting taken captive. This is the reality of the situation. Everyone in America now, all of the women in America feel like, you know, you don't need a man for nothing. When times like this happen, you're going to see why it's so important to be underneath a righteous man. A righteous man. Things America take women are sleeping with the government. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, you had a husband because he could protect you. You don't need a man to do that no more because the government protects you.
That's what they think.
Yeah, that's what they think. In the drop of a dime, prophecy tell you this government is going to fall. America's going to fall. So it's better not to rely and put all your eggs in America and the government. It's just better not to do that. I mean, the Lord already spoken. And we see throughout history this happens. It's a pattern. This happens. This happened plenty of times before. Governments fail. People get conquered. But what doesn't fail is the Most High God's protection. So women, the problem is women trust too much they trust in everything but the Most High. Right? And I see why they do. It's strategic. It's not on accident. It's strategic. The government supplies them with a house, with a home. Right? That's what you're supposed to rely on your husband for. The government supplies you with food.
Yeah.
Right? That's something you should rely on your husband for. I mean, safety and security, you rely on the government for instead of your husband. When it comes to learning and being taught, you rely on the government and not your husband. Your husband is supposed to teach you. When it comes to being submissive and obedient, you're never you're way more submissive and obedient to the government and to other men and facilities and jobs and
Not to her
schools and
boss.
colleges. What you say?
I said to her boss.
To her boss, right? Instead of her husband. Women these days give more honor to their boss instead of the father of their children. You know what I'm saying? Instead of their husband, instead of their real Lord. You know what I'm saying? They give more honor to them, they boss than to the Most High. But whenever you do that, it's going to put you in a bad situation. You always got to put your trust, you got to put your eggs in the Most High God's basket, to the basket of a righteous man for sure. So verse 34, it says, and they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein. So they took the women, took the children, killed most of the men. You know, killing men, that's what you do. You kill the men instead, and then they threw in wicked people in the city of David. You know, you got a whole bunch of Gentiles in the city now. Put a whole bunch of Gentiles in our land now. Let's see what else happened. It says they stored it also with armor and victuals. And when they had gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem, they laid them up there, so they became a sore snare. So not only did they put these wicked men, these wicked families in our nation, in our land, they gave them armor, swords, food, victuals, just in case anything pop off, so that they could conquer us. That's what you do. You send men, soldiers, an army, right? Then you inhabit it with your people who you want to inhabit it with, and you conquer that place. Right? They tore down the battlements, the walls that was guarding our city, destroyed those. Right? They took over that place. It says, verse 36, for it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary and an evil adversary to Israel. So it was literally our worst nightmare. It said it was it says an evil adversary to Israel. And an adversary is an enemy, an opponent, a foe. Officer Tahu, I'm dropping some precepts. It says, Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 10, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Leave thy fatherless children, I will preserve them alive, and let the widows trust in me. I'm going to have you break it down. I don't know exactly where you wanted to go with that one. It says, "For it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary and an evil adversary to Israel. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary and defiled it." So you got a whole bunch of heathens and Gentiles in our land, in the city of David, in Jerusalem, inhabiting this place, defiling the sanctuary, defiling the temple, stealing everything out of it, bringing in harlots, bringing in idols, doing all kind of killing people. You know what I'm saying? So this you can't expect a whole bunch of heathens and Gentiles who do not understand the priestly duties. There's no way that they're going to be able to uphold these things. There's no way. So they defiled everything.
Hey,
What's up?
real quick, that's what it's saying. It says they laid them up there, and so they became a sore snare, for it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary. Basically, you got these people waiting inside the temple, waiting for our people to come in. This was the trap. This was the trap, waiting for our people to come in, because we still got sacrifices to make. We still trying to uphold our laws. We come in there, and next thing you know, it says, "Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary and defiled it." They're waiting on our people to get there, to get to the temple. Boom. Imagine that. You walking up there with a baby lamb or whatever you got. You walking up there, you thinking you finna give a sacrifice, a free will offering, and you just get stabbed all out of nowhere. You just die for nothing. This is all happening around our temple. This is how they get down. This is how they get down. Mind you, we didn't do anything against them. We actually agreed with what they was finna do. We was like, all right, cool. As soon as we made consent, boom, they rushed in and killed us. It's a damn shame. Slocky, go ahead, bro.
Man, I understand your point now. So all of this stuff right here in Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 10 and 11, that's what I'm saying. Our women trust in the system. Basically, all the things that they did to us, that happened to us, the same thing is going to happen to them, right? And it's a lot of scriptures that support this scripture and your point for sure, right? Even in the law, right? All of the curses that the Israelites go through, when you read Deuteronomy chapter 28, all of them curses that our people go through. If you read Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7, it says, all of the curses that was placed on us, they're going to be placed on our enemies. Facts. Man, bear with me. I gotta pull out my old apocrypha and blow the dust off of this real quick, because it was, how in Maccabees you got some of the same things happening in First Maccabees and Second Maccabees. It's just giving you different details of it.
Yeah.
It was one of them. It talked about how many men was actually killed in one day. And I believe it's going into First Maccabees, but I believe it's in Second Maccabees. I think I might have found it. Hold on. Okay, I thought I had found it. Man, I feel like it's right here in this area. Man, I could have sworn it was like 20,000 people he killed in one day. I can't remember, man. It's so long ago. But I feel like I'm in the right place. Give me one more second to try to find it. Man, this gotta be it. I feel like I might be reading over it. don't say the number, but it's definitely going into that. Shoot, I'm gonna have to find it some other time, man. All right. Anyways, getting back to it. I say that, but I'm still looking. All right, getting back to it. All right, First Maccabees, chapter 1, and I left off at verse, I think 38. It says, insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her. So it was so much chaos. There was so much chaos going on in Jerusalem. You had Israelites fleeing and leaving their homeland. You had strangers inhabiting it. It says, her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach, her honor into contempt. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning. So our whole world was flipped upside down, inside out. The beauty of our sanctuary, the priest coming out with his garments on, performing his priestly duties day in and day out, every Sabbath, weekly duties, doing what he got to do with the altar, burning the incense and the censer, sprinkling blood, purifying people, purifying our sins, keeping the feast days, the high holy days, Day of Atonement, tabernacles and Passovers and new moons, Shabbats, our solemn days, the beauty of those things, mourning. Now all you hear in the streets is weeping and crying. The young women, they don't look pretty no more. Their beauty was changed. Like it's saying, Isaiah says they had multiple changes of apparel, long hair, smell good when she walked past, and you know, good to look at. Now all you see is weeping. You know, you see a woman, she Proverbs 31.
Hey, bro.
What's up?
A lot of these women got raped. And
literally,
and that can change a lot of things, bro. That can change the family dynamic. That can change everything. When a woman gets raped, scriptures go into her as if she had been killed, as if she had been murdered. That's the same. It's one the same, right? And so during this time, you may have women who have a contentious spirit towards their men. Why couldn't you protect me?
Yeah.
Why couldn't you save me from him? Why? And you got all these things popping up. That's what I'm saying. This changes everything.
Yeah. Now she kind of hate her husband in her heart.
Yeah. She hate men. Y'all weak. And then we get women like today. Now this is an extreme case. I don't believe all women think like this at all. It was just one woman. She got on. She said all black men are not high value. There is not a single high value black man on earth. Somebody asked her, "Isn't your father a black man?" She said, "Yeah, and he's not high value. Only the white man is high value." She was saying that only the white man is high value. That's what she believes. Like I said, that's an extreme case, but after you get conquered by these people, after you get a couple men that run up in you, man, these men stronger than my own men. My men can't protect me. And then they get these thoughts, and then all this stuff pile up and pile up and pile up. And now the family dynamic, the nation, everything has changed, man. A lot of it, like the scriptures say, the beauty is gone now. The joyfulness spirit is gone. It's mourning. It's bitter, sad. Not to mention we dealing with Esau. Esau done raped a couple men. They're not beyond that. That's Esau is not beyond raping a man. at all. Go ahead.
So I actually found what I was looking for. And man, I believe that Second Maccabees chapter 5 is going into First Maccabees chapter 1. But I'm gonna read what I got. So I'm gonna start at Second Maccabees chapter 5 and verse. So in first Maccabees chapter 1, where it says Antiochus was making his way to Egypt, we just read it. First Maccabees 1:16. Now the kingdom was established before Antiochus, and he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have the dominion of 2 realms. Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude of chariots, elephants, and horsemen, and with a great navy. Right. So that's in First Maccabees chapter 1. When you read Second Maccabees chapter 5, it says, about the same time Antiochus prepared his second voyage into Egypt, and then it happened that through all the city. So basically, it's going into when he made his second voyage into Egypt. Now I don't know if First Maccabees is the first voyage or the second one. Anyways, when you keep reading down, it talks about what he did to Israel, and that's the same thing that you see in First Maccabees. So that's why I'm led to believe it's the same thing. It's just giving you the story in a different way. So I'm gonna read Second Maccabees chapter 5, and I'm gonna start at verse 12. I'm gonna start at verse 11. Now, when that was done came to king's ear, he thought that Judea had revolted, whereupon removing out of Egypt in a furious mind, he took the city by force of arms, and commanded his men of war not to spare such as they met, and to slay such as went upon the houses. Thus there was killing of young and old, making away of men, women, and children, slaying of virgins and infants, and there were destroyed within the span of 3 whole days 80,000. 80,000, wherefore 40,000 were slain in the conflict, and no fewer sold than slain. Pull that up in the GNT so people can see these numbers and make it make sense. A whole bunch of people was killed, and the same amount were sold into captivity in the span of 3 days. Watch this. This is why it tells you, when you read the prophecy in Daniel chapter 8, it says that wicked root that came out of the 4 generals, it was talking about Antiochus, surname Epiphanes, the 4th, if I'm not mistaken. Look at how many men he killed. Look how many, not even just men. We got elderly, young, infants. Babies, women. Let's go to verse 14. 3 days later, Jerusalem had lost 80,000 people, 40,000 killed in the attack, and at least that many taken away to be sold as slaves. In 3 days, we lost 80,000 people. In 3 days. 3 days. Man, we read Second Maccabees chapter 9 with y'all a plethora of times, and it goes over how the Most High God did Antiochus, and he deserved every bit. Plagued that man to death, his bones was deteriorating in his body, rotten. Maggots all throughout his body, worms were feasting on him. He was literally a dead man walking. It said he smelt so freaking bad, his whole army had to stand back. He was that bad. And it says every moment, every second, every day, his pain continually to increase.
All praises.
All praises to the Most High.
All praises.
All praises to the Most High, the one true living God. That's why you don't mess with the Israelites. And when you read Proverbs, it says, We the apple of his eye. And his eyes are continually before us. He always watching us. And that's what it tell you in the book of Zechariah that he was just a little mad with his people. He was just a little mad. But when Esau get the green light, he take it overboard. Right? It's so much I could say. And when you read this chapter, they strategically attacked us. Right? On the Sabbath day. It's a lot that goes into the Maccabees. It's a lot that happened. It's a lot of history. Definitely one of my favorite books. But we're going to jump back to the first chapter real quick, because I want to try and make it through this chapter. So maybe next week we can jump into that second chapter. So I'm at First Maccabees, chapter 1, 80,000 people, y'all. 40,000 was immediately slain. That is crazy to me, man. First Maccabees, and they want to make it seem like they the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like they holy. That's crazy. Like they the ones who are, they want to make it seem like they're close to God. They're near unto God, nigh unto God. Oh man, this is infuriating. All right, verse, you got something?
Hey, right after they did all this to our people, Christ suddenly pop up to bring them niggas in. What? I mean, right after they do all this, Christ pop up to bring them in.
Before any judgment.
Y'all don't know Christ.
Y'all don't know Yahweh.
He said, y'all don't know Yahweh. Oh, God.
Y'all just get off scot-free. No judgment.
Nothing.
That's crazy. First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 40. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning. Watch this. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. That should be, your spidey senses should be jumping off whenever you read this scripture. Bells should be going off. I mean, the red flashing lights should be going off. All of your damn cell membranes in your damn mind should be going crazy right now. So I'm going to read verse 41 again. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. So now he's on some one world order, one world government kind of time. And your spidey senses should be going off. Not even spidey senses. The spirit of the Most High should be waking up. It should be, when it says it should bring all things to your remembrance in the book of John chapter 14, verse 26, I believe. This is a part of it. This is your memory, your remembrance. You should be getting quickened, coming back to life. Like, oh snap, I do remember this. And you should be taking heed, because these same things are going to happen again. The scriptures tell you that these events are rinse and repeated. It's on cycle. I mean, it's on recycle, because everything has a cycle. History repeats itself. It says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. So he's sending a letter to everywhere. So all of these places he had conquered, saying, like, we all gonna come together now. You know, I conquered everybody. Now we're all gonna be one. We all gonna live together and be happy. And you know, that's that. But I'm God. You know, I'm at the top. And y'all just, you know, drop y'all laws, drop your heritage, drop your customs, forget about that. Serve Zeus, okay? And we're going to start teaching y'all how to be a Greek. Forget about your dad, your grandfather, and your great-grandfather, Forget about that. Forget about the Sabbath. You don't need that no more because look, we coming with Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Forget about Passover. We got St. Patrick's Day and Valentine's Day. Forget about that.
Years, bro.
You don't need tabernacles no more, brother. That's old. That's old, right? It says, all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. To be expected, the heathens getting down with it. But watch this, verse 43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion. When I first read this, that's what caught me off. Like, what? But yeah, it looked good. It looks pleasurable. On the outside looking in, it looks tremendous. That's why all of the other nations fall for America still to this day. Even our own people are still consenting to his religion, his ideology, his train of thoughts, his schools of thoughts. Still consenting to it, still giving over to it, still agreeing with it. You got the Bible, and then you got the white man, and you got people choosing Esau every time.
Oh yeah. If Esau can't get into heaven, I don't want to be there. I've heard that come out of a person's mouth before. Jake mouth.
Yeah. We hear this all the time. Look, that's not, my God wouldn't do that. Well, you don't know God.
You don't.
Well, you don't know God at all. What do you mean your God wouldn't do that? It says, yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. That's crazy. It says, for the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land. So you got Antiochus sending letters to Jerusalem and all the cities of Judah saying, look, these are the laws. We need you to do these or else. And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbath days and the festival days. So he said,
bro, I got a mean precept.
Bring it out.
I'm sorry, bro. I ain't trying to cut your wisdom off, bro.
No, bring that up.
2 Maccabees 4. And like you said, this is gonna go with what you said earlier, how 2 Maccabees chapter 5 ties into 1 Maccabees chapter 1, because this ties into it as well. 2 Maccabees 4, and I'm gonna start at 12. For he built gladly a place of exercise. We already read that, right? 1 Maccabees 1. Under the tower itself, and brought the chief young men under his subjection and made them wear a hat. Some homosexual stuff. It says, now such was the height of Greek fashions and it's like an increase of heathenish manners through the exceeding profaneness of Jason, that ungodly wretch, and no high priest. So basically, for better words, they set up a lackey amongst our people, like Esau always do. Esau always use our people, use the weak of our people to go against us, basically. Like, like, nah, nigga, like, they cool, bro. They not that bad. Like, just come through. He was a coon, right? Verse 14. It says that the priest had no courage to serve any more at the altar, but despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifice, hastened to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise after the game of discus called them forth. It says, not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all. So they didn't sit by the honors of Moses, Aaron, Joshua, right? King David, Solomon. They didn't sit by the honors of their fathers. They likened the glory of the Grecians best of all, right? And you was getting into first Maccabees, you was getting into the sacrifices. Where did you stop at?
Verse 45.
Verse 45. Okay, it says, for the king has sent letters and boom, boom, boom. Okay. Go ahead to verse 47, and I got some on that too.
Man, you got I got something too. It's Second Maccabees chapter 6. It
Stop.
says, verse 45, it says, so Antiochus, he forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbath and the festival days and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. Check this out. You can get yours first, actually, King.
All right, Khan. Second Maccabees 4 and verse 16. It says, by reason whereof sore calamity came upon them, for they had them to be their enemies and avengers, whose customs they followed so earnestly, and unto whom they desired to be like in all things. So our people desired to be like these people in all things. It says, for it was not a light thing to do wickedly against the laws of God, but the time following shall declare these things. It says, now when the game that was used it's like it used every faith year, was kept at Tyrus, the king being present, this ungracious Jason sent special messengers from Jerusalem, who were Antiochians, to carry 300 drachms of silver to the sacrifice of Hercules, which even the bears, it says, which even the bears thereof thought fit not to bestow upon the sacrifice, because it was not convenient, but to serve, it's like it, but to be reserved for other charges. So these people was finna go offer up a sacrifice to damn Hercules. That's how wicked our high priest was during this time. That's how wicked this man was. It says this money then in regard of the sender was appointed to Hercules' sacrifice, but because of the bears thereof, it was employed to the making of galleys. It wasn't because of Jason that this sacrifice didn't come to pass. It was because the bears. It was like, nah, bro, we can do something better with this. Jason, our high priest. So I put it in quotes because this nigga is not supposed to be the high priest. He's a wicked wretch, like the scriptures say. He was going up to offer damn sacrifices to Hercules. We seen that they just offered up swine's flesh. Imagine all these gods that they are often offering up sacrifices to. Hercules is not in our faith. Zeus is not in our faith. Athena is not in our faith. When I say in our faith, I mean we didn't carry these customs. We didn't carry these religions. We don't know who the hell these gods are. We don't know them. But we offering up sacrifices to them. We giving up everything to them. Through the priest, through these wicked ass customs, through these forbidden laws that we breaking. Right? But it's on you. It's like it.
Okay, come. So this is Second Maccabees, chapter 6. Shoot. I'll start at verse 1. All right, I gotta move though. It says, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God. So you got the king sending a man from Athens, which is a Greek city-state. He sent them to our people. I believe it says to the Jews, to compel the Jews to stop serving Yahweh. Judaism, throw that out the window. He sent someone from Athens to do this, an old man. It says, and to pollute the temple in Jerusalem and to call it the temple of Jupiter, Olympius, and that in Gerizim of Jupiter, defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in that place. Can you look up Jupiter, Olympius? So he sent the damn nasty old men from Athens to come persuade the Jews, look, man, kind of just forget about Yahweh, sacrifice unto Jupiter, Olympius. Do that. But it gets crazier. It gets crazier. But I just wanted everyone to be aware of who Jupiter Olympius is. That laptop working as hard.
Says, you ready?
Yes. Yes.
Can you hear me? Because mine on my end is kind of messing up. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
It says Jupiter was a sky god who Romans believed oversaw all aspects of life. He is thought to have originated from the Greek god Zeus. Jupiter also concentrated on protecting the Roman state.
There you have it. So he wanted us to sacrifice unto Jupiter Olympius, right? Who's closely resembled to Zeus, right? So a lot of times I just say Zeus. You want us to sacrifice to Zeus? No. Anyways, it says, the coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles who dallied with harlots and who had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that brought in things that were not lawful. So you had in the temple, in the holy place, you got whores in there, man. You got nasty old Edomites creeping out and, drinking out of the vessels of gold and living it up. Passing women to the next guy, orgies, and they throwing up nasty prayers to damn Jupiter, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's actually a scripture I was just looking at last night. This is crazy. Man, I'm in a rush. No, I'm not in that much of a rush. It's Hosea chapter 4, and I'll grab it real quick. Hosea 4:14. Check this out. And I read it in the NLT, and it was nasty. Hosea 4:14, it says, I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom, nor your spouses when they commit adultery. So the Lord said through the prophet Hosea, when your wife go commit adultery, I might not punish her. Especially in this time, I'm not punishing her. And for your daughter being a damn harlot, I'm not going to punish her. And it's the same thing we see today. Women go commit adultery and don't get punished, it seems like. You got women walking around, fancying after every man they see, opening up her quiver against every goddamn arrow and not being punished for that. It says, for themselves are separated with whores. So he said, I'm not going to punish the women because the men themselves are separated with whores, because the men, they're dealing with whoredom. Watch this. And they sacrifice with harlots. It says they sacrifice with harlots. When you read it in the NLT, it says they are dealing with, this is a part of how they serve, how these other nations serve their gods. They will have sex and have rituals for their god through whoredom. That's one of the rituals that they had. Now, I didn't dive deep enough to know which god and what nation and who all doing it, but it exists, and that was enough for me. So you had our men sleeping with harlots and whores, and if that wasn't enough, sleeping with idolatrous women for their gods through the act of whoredom, if that makes sense. It says, therefore, the people that doth not understand shall fall. So the people who don't have the understanding, we're going to fall. You trying to get in there, King?
Yes, this is going to hit right on your point, boy.
Okay.
Orgy. Secret rites or ceremonies in the worship of certain Greek and Roman gods, especially Dionysus, right? It says, and directly from Greek orgia, secret rites, especially those of Bacchus. That's what. Oh my God, that's crazy, bro. That's nuts.
That's right there.
That's nuts.
There you have it.
Orgy.
There you have it.
That's right there.
There you have it. As if it wasn't bad for our men to go into their temples. Hear me out. It's bad to go into the heathens' temples and they sanctuaries, and you freaking off in one of the rooms, and she kind of throw up a quick prayer. She blows some dust in your face, and now y'all going at it. And it's weird smoke and incense. I mean, strange incense, not frankincense and myrrh. And ointments is going off and smell, and freaking off. Freaking off. Now they're bringing that into the Most High God sanctuary. And they get to just go, they get to just do that. They get to just do that. And then sweet Jesus, they get this, they get to be grafted in now. No. So let's get back to this Maccabees, man, before I get. Man, it's more on the second Maccabees, man, but for the sake of time, we're going to jump back to first Maccabees. And at some point in time, that second Maccabees chapter 6 is going to come out. I might bring it out today at camp or something. But the reason why I pulled that out, because when we was at first Maccabees chapter 1, and at verse 45 through 47, it says something crazy. It says, and forbid us burnt offerings and sacrifices and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbath and festival days. So he wanted us to profane our law, statutes, and commandments. Watch this. And pollute the sanctuary and the holy people, and to set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. So he wanted to set up new altars and groves and other chapels. Am I pronouncing that right? Chapels? Or is it chapels?
I think I hear most people say chapels.
Okay, chapels. Chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. So that's what they wanted us to do. It says that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manners of uncleanness and profanation. So they wanted us to stop teaching our children. That's the same thing that's going on now. America raises our children now, not the parents. Social media, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, public schools, everything else raises our children except for us now. I mean, you're there, but you're not really there. It says, to the end, they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. So this is what their end goal was. To set up all of these things, all of these roadblocks and walls and stuff. What do we call it? Distractions to the end. This was the end goal, that we forget who the hell we was. It's the same thing happening now, but it's on a higher level. One could argue that it's on a worse level. It's gotten so bad that you would teach someone who they are according to the Bible, and they don't really care. Like, damn, there's some new information. I never heard this before. It makes a lot of sense. But, I'm kind of worried about the hottest rapper right now and 2K in basketball and money. I'm too worried about money, knowing who I am according to God, and knowing that I'm a king on earth, and that I got to live a righteous life so that I can inherit these blessings from the most, that don't really interest me, because I'm worried about making this money right now. It says, and whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. So this is what he did. He had that or else. Anything he set up, it was a or else behind it. It wasn't optional. Here in America, they make it seem like everything's optional, but it's not really. You don't really have it. It's an illusion. They have that illusion right there behind it. And here in a minute, Esau is he's gonna unveil the illusion that you have a choice. Right now, you got a choice. You don't have to, get a mark in your hand and, you know, deal with the beast. You got that option, and you can kind of do whatever you want to do. It's America. Here in a minute, he's going to show his true colors and say, look, do this or die. Everyone who is not in the words of the Most High God, who not protected by the Most High God, who's not studied up, right, who doesn't have enough understanding and skillful in the word, or have someone close to him who's skillful, they're going to be completely caught off guard. Completely caught off guard. And you're going to fold up. But if you see the evils coming, and what it say in Proverbs, you used to always pull this out, King. I think it's Proverbs 18:10. Let me see.
Talking about foreseeth the evil.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Proverbs.
I know it kind of go like he foreseeth the evil and hideth himself.
Yeah, that's the one I want. I'm thinking, I went to the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and is safe, which is a good one. But I want that foreseeth the evil. You know where that's at?
Proverbs 22:3.
Okay. Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple passed on and are punished. So a wise man, a man of understanding, a man who's occupied in the scriptures, in the wise sayings and the prophecies and the history and the kings, the ancient wisdom, the dark sentences, the pure words, the law, statutes, and commandments. The man who's prudent, he's going to foresee the evil way before it happened. And you know what? He's going to go duck off. For lack of better terms, he's going to remove himself and put himself in a better situation in safety. But the simple man, simple in the scriptures, when the scriptures say simple, it means a man who like simple-minded, like you're not smart, you're not that intelligent, you're not logical, you're not wise, you're not understanding. The simple, they're not able to really see the evil. They're not able to see the damn signs. They're not able. A simple man, he'll see a big dark cloud in the sky and not even understand that it's going to rain. He won't be able to understand it because he's simple-minded. But a prudent man, he's like, damn, the clouds is changing. The clouds is changing. You feel that breeze? It's finna rain. Let me go home. Let me get out of this because I don't want to get caught up in a storm. A simple man ain't gonna ever be able to do that. And that's what you gotta build your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding up. It tells you in the book of Isaiah that wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of your times and strength of salvation. And then the fear of the Lord is his treasures. If I'm kind of loosely paraphrasing that end part, but the beginning stands. Your stability is going to be on your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, not on money. Because right now, the stability, when everybody thinks of stability, they think of financial stability. And I'm kind of getting on a rant, but this is important. Stability is going to change from financial stability to wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. The high class, the middle class citizens in America, and the lower class and the poor class, those things are going to be completely out of whack. And the men with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, they're going to immediately, overnight, jump from being the poor, lower class citizens to immediately being the elite level of people on earth. They're going to be an overnight sensation. Anyways, 1 Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 50. And whosoever would not do according to the king commandment, he said he should die. In the self-same manner wrote he to his whole kingdom and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. And that's exactly what you're going to see. It's going to be a replica of this. These Esau's elites, they're going to have a system. A lot of people believe that he's going to use the armies of America to do it, right? The Navy, right? The Marines. He's going to go and use the army. What do they call them? I cannot think of the name. It's like you got the army and then you got right below the army. What is it called? National Guard. A lot of people believe that he's going to use National Guard to enforce this. They're going to go city by city, neighborhood by neighborhood, and force you to not keep God's commandments. And if you don't detest it, if you don't do away with the Most High God's law, statutes, commandments, guess what? You're going to die. They're going to snatch your children away from you and say, look, blaspheme the name of the Most High God or I'm going to kill your son. And you're going to have to make a choice. But you know what the righteous men, the men who are prudent, because it tells you in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 14, I believe, or it might be 16, I believe the 40th verse, it says, we're going to be pilgrims on the earth. We're going to see the evil coming and we're going to remove ourselves and we're going to be nomads. We're going to be on the move. We're going to be on the go. We're going to have to, these things are going to happen. These are the things that you got to prepare yourself for. Mentally prepare your household for it. Mentally prepare your children for it. Right? It says, then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, every one that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land. So you got people actually doing it. But the Most High God is looking for men, women, and children who are going to stand up in the last days and serve him no matter what it looked like. Don't matter. And just put your faith in him. A spirit going to jump on you and you're going to know that it's time to leave. You're going to know that it's time to leave. And if you second guess that, you're going to be caught out there. It says, and drove the Israelites in secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for secure. So this is what's going to happen. The Israelites, it tells you in a second, there's going to be a great insurrection against those that fear the Most High. An insurrection is an uprising. There's going to be a super uproar and uprising against the men, women, and children of the Most High God. And for succor, and for safety, we're going to have to remove ourselves. That's what Mattathias and his household did. And we're going to read about that next week, Lord willing. You're going to see how Mattathias was zealous for the law and what he did for his people, what his sons did for his people. You're going to see. They left everything. All the possessions they had in Modem, left them. You got to leave your house. You got to leave your car. The more possessions you have, the greater your substance you have, the harder it's going to be to leave it. Poor people are going to have an advantage in these last days. Rich people are going to be caught out there. They're going to be naked. Poor people are going to be winning. They're going to have a super big advantage. Reading on, it says, now the 15th day of the month of Caslu in the 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side. So our temple was destroyed. They built up idols in their stead. We was prohibited from keeping God's commandments, doing the daily sacrifices, keeping the Shabbat, any of the feast days. You can't even call yourself an Israelite. You get caught talking about I'm an Israelite, you're gonna die. You know, they'll check your son and he's circumcised. Guess what? Y'all dead. It says, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the book of the law, which they found, they burnt them with fire. So they catch you with a Bible, they're going to kill you, and they're going to take that Bible and they're going to burn it. That's what they did before. And it's going to be the same thing now. You find a man with a book, a whole Bible. He got the Apocrypha in there, and he got notes in there, and he got breakdowns in there, and precepts, and his daily meditations and highlight. That's going to be gold. Right? Watch the book of Eli. They was hunting. That dude was hunting him down for that book. Hunting him down. It says, and wheresoever was found with any of the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put to death. So if they found you with a book, they found you consenting to the laws of the Most High God, getting down with the Shabbat, getting down with loving your brother more than a heathen, they're going to kill your ass. It says, thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month to as many as were found in the cities. So it was clockwork. They would dispatch men throughout the cities. And these men, who knows what these men look like? Who knows? A lot of times you might think in your head, like, okay, they're going to look like, army, soldiers. They might have a bulletproof vest on. He might be in all black. He might have boots. But what if it's not? What if they send a man, dispatch a man that look like you, and he kind of got a fro, he got a beard, they kind of throw him, some scruffy clothes on to kind of fit in, and he kind of make a friend in you, and you end up telling him like, yeah, bro, I'm an Israelite, and I'm headed this way. That's where everybody at. You're gonna get everybody killed. It was clockwork. Anyways, now the 5 and 20th day of the month, they did sacrifice unto the altar, which was upon the altar of God. See that? So they sacrificed to the idol right here on the altar of the Most High. Ain't that something? It says, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women. Now they killing the women that had caused their children to be circumcised. They find the woman obeying the Most High God, they killing them. They don't care if you're a woman. See, right now you got that strategical advantage in America. You're a woman, or you might be a damn LG, tomato, lettuce, bacon, onion, and you might have a strategical advantage in America. But it's not going to be like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to always be like that. It says, that had caused their children to be circumcised, and they hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and slew them that circumcised them. So they running into your house, and the woman might be trying to scream and fight back. This is a whole man. He liable to pick you up, choke slam you, and dump you on your neck. Grab your child from you and hang them right in front of you. And they flipping your couches over, right? In your bedroom, flipping the bed over, looking for anything that has value, right? That necklace that was passed down through your family, snatching that off your neck, right? The man that's in your house, killing him. It says, howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed themselves not to eat any unclean thing. And this is the kind of thing that you got to do. Even though if you get caught serving the Most High God, you're going to die. You got to still be fully persuaded to die. And every woman, y'all might not know that, but here in America, we call it a ride or die. Or at least in our communities where I'm from, you call it a ride or die. A woman who will ride to death do us part. If that man say, look, I know we got a vineyard, we have a beautiful family, we got 4 children, we got money, we got this beautiful house. We finally paid this house off. We own it. We got a few rental properties. You need your woman to be in the mental place to where you say, look, we done well for ourselves here, but it's time to go. It's time to bounce. A lot of women, I can't leave all of this, and I can't. We worked too hard for this, and they're not gonna understand the situation and the times that we live. But you might know, and guess what? If your wife don't want to leave, guess what you're gonna have to do? You're gonna have to smash. You know how I know that? The scriptures. Remember Lot's wife. He said, look, let's bounce. It's time to go. This place finna be destroyed. Him and his daughters, they leaving. And she looking back. Because Lot had all the possessions, somebody could want and lust for. And she couldn't do it. They had money, wealth. They was comfortable. She couldn't bring herself to do it. And you know what? She died. She got turned into a pillar of salt. And that's how that's the situation. Men, we have to learn how to rule our households. And if people don't want to, if the women and children unrighteous women and children don't want to get behind the righteous head of the household, they're going to get left behind. And there's nothing you can do about it. See, that's a big problem that people have in the truth. Leaving stuff behind, leaving people behind. That's a part of it. That's a part of it. The truth is sweet, but it got bitter stuff too. Let's finish this chapter out. Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. And that's how we have to be still to this day. We're not eating anything that's unclean. Wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died, and there were very great wrath upon Israel. Right? So you can see why this chapter right here is so freaking powerful. I mean, powerful, man. Aharon, man, for a sec, say something. Let me see if I can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, I can. It's a little choppy, but I can hear you.
Okay. I've been on mute.
Okay. I get it. All right, man. That was a fire chapter. Fire chapter, man. We got to get the hell out of here. It's already 2:50.
Con. I've been over messing with this computer, really. Mine's been going weird. It's been acting weird, but yeah. You want me to grab my precepts?
Yes.
All righty. This is 1 Corinthians 15 and 58. It says, my beloved brethren, therefore, my beloved brethren, be therefore steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord, right? You always want to continue in the faith. You always want to continue doing the work. Doing the work is not just teaching. Don't get that messed up. Teaching is a part of work, yes, but there are also many other things that are considered work. Alms is considered work. Bearing one another's burdens is considered work. Being a listening ear is considered work. Helping get somebody's spirit up is considered work. Everything you can do that is good and righteous is damn near considered doing the work of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Galatians 6 and 9, it says, and let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. So we got to continue to sow righteousness into the world. We got to continue, no matter who say anything, no matter what, no matter damn all that. You got to continue to sow righteousness into the world, right? Don't get offended. And that's all I got.
Man, we'll end it with Sirach chapter 43 and 30. It says, when you glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as ye can, for even yet will he far exceed. And when you exalt him, put forth all your strength, and be not weary, because ye can never go far enough. I want to say Tawada and barakatah to everybody that tuned in, especially the brothers and sisters that was active in the chats, dropping precepts, adding to the lesson that other people could be edified. I want to say Ashar Shabbat. Have a beautiful Sabbath. Enjoy your Sabbath. Celebrate your Sabbath, right? Like our forefathers did in ancient times. And we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah. Until next time, Shalom.
God, shalom.